Here is the box set of 10 classic adventures of Noddy. It's edited by Hodder and Stoughton, although I guess DreamWorks now own the rights to Noddy. This is, however, very much the classic adventures, with the updated language from 1990. The heavily racist connotations have been scrubbed, and some of the old language has been changed and updated as well. In some of Enid Blyton's stories, that's been a problem for me, but in fact, I'm very happy about these Noddy stories being updated. Well, you can do your own research regarding exactly how they've been updated. I can tell you that, for example, the Gollywogs are now pixies, which is perfectly welcome. And wherever the illustrations would have clashed with the narrative, which has been updated, then Mary Cooper has updated those illustrations. I'm quite happy with these editions. What I like especially is the the gold on the front of each book. It actually looks really quite nice. There's gold on the spine as well. I really like the way they all look put together. It's all really quite colourful. Although I have put them in my own order. With this colour progression. That's if you put them in the correct order, then this is not the colour progression that you get. It's just that I like my books in colour order. It's just one of my things. What else do I really like? I like the fact that the books feel quite sturdy. Yeah, the pages are well clamped in these covers. I feel like a child could really give these a good old battering, and they'd stay put. One thing I'm not such a fan of is the small font. It's difficult to say from here, but actually these books themselves are quite small. If I show you against my hand, that's actually a very small book, in fact, and as a consequence, the font has to be quite small, and as these are really designed to be one of a child's first books to read themselves, I think this edition is much better suited to be read as a bedtime story. Here's an example of an illustration that was updated by Mary Cooper, the original being by Harmsen van der Beek. So the Gollywog has been replaced with a pixie here, which, as I say, is quite welcome. However, the Big Ears' original name has been retained. There's no Mr. Squeaky or Whitebeard or anything like that. So that's nice. The illustrations are actually quite fine. I certainly prefer them to the modern CGI versions. Although, I can understand why a modern audience might want those. I only had a few of these Noddy books as a child. Just one or two, in fact, and I've got very fond memories of them. And of course, children don't necessarily pick up on the I'm going to say old-fashioned sensitivities that we do as adults. But as an adult reading this to my child, I'd much rather this this new cleaned up version. Yeah, I've had quite a bit of fun reading up on Enid Blyton and especially these Noddy books and how they were banned in the 50s by libraries for having no literary value. Yeah, certainly some of the wording can seem a little clunky, but from there to say that there's no literary value is well, certainly it was definitely of its time. I guess the children back in the 50s had access to much more interesting language, possibly, or certainly more advanced language, and this would have seemed like a step backwards. But in the age of Teletubbies, this is high literature. The age of Teletubbies, he says. It's 20 years ago. There we go. So yeah, the as you see, generally it's a lovely edition. If you can get it at a reduced price, I would say yes, go for it. It does feel like a stretch for £65, which is not the price that I paid for it not by a long stretch. But if you can get it for maybe 30 or 40 even, I'd say it's a very good buy. I've read a few of the stories to my son, and he it got his seal of approval. Trying to get these back more or less. There we go. So that's the Classic Adventures of Noddy by Enid Blyton. Just 10 of the 27 books, I think it was, originally. So within the region of 27 books anyway. 10 of them are here. There we go. I hope you liked the review. Don't forget to leave us a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks ever so much for watching. See you soon.